Rulon Home is here. Welcome. Appreciate seeing you. I haven't even talked to Mike yet. This is going to be a very casual stream, but it's going to be awesome. I can already feel it. Mike Murphy is here as well. How's it going, Mike?
Officer Murphy. What? Sorry. Hello.
I didn't hear anything. So, all right. Well, great to see you, Mike.
Great to see your icon, Mike.
Yeah. Eric's here as always with an explanation point.
Officer Murphy.
Eric.
Hey, how's it going?
Very good.
Hey, I have news. We're live, right? This is live. Okay,
this is live now. Yeah,
we are. Yeah.
Yep.
I'll wait until more people get in here. It's only been live for 44 seconds.
All right. Hey, Trash Fire. Welcome. Story time with Yang Zan Zo. Welcome. Albino Thunderbuns is here. Always great to see you. And Scott's here with no exclamation point. Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
Oh, good. All right. I called this the grind because I don't know. That's just how I feel today.
We're involved in the grind, man.
It's the grind. It's where we're at right now. Guys, I'm realizing like I'm getting to the point where I'm preparing for printing. Like I'm not quite ready for it yet, but it's like mentally preparing and thinking of all the things you need to do. And it is an intense amount of work. I'll put it that way.
Yeah. Here. Whoa.
2 mics. Can you hear us?
Mike?
Yeah. Can you guys hear me at all?
There he is.
Okay, there you are.
All right.
We've got you in twice. Oh, there we go.
Is the one that can talk still here?
Yeah, I didn't go into the light.
Okay.
Cool.
There was a moment of silence that was perfect.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. So like realizing like all the stuff like printing. I talked to a printer and all this stuff. I'm gonna make a video on this with crowdfunding, but 30 grand is not really that much money. So that's what I'm realizing. And like I don't know. I'm gonna get the book done. It's gonna be nice, but it's really not very much money for how much time you put into it. It's kind of depressing. It is, yeah. But you know, we'll see. We're building the groundwork for a better future. But.
See, your mistake was expecting you would make any money.
Well, I mean, I said from the beginning that I was just going to reinvest it all. The thing is, it's like, okay, here's the problem: is stretch goals. That's a problem. Because you want to promise the world as though you're doing some like it's $100,000 campaign. I'm going to add a foil stamp. I'm going to add, you know, like better quality paper and stuff. But it's like 30 grand's not. It doesn't really justify those kinds of add-ons. But we're doing it anyway. But yeah, it's just kind of part of the learning process. So yeah, and I was talking to a 3D Robin earlier today about it, and yeah, I don't know. He's just seen it so many times. It's an intense amount of money how much it costs really to do a comic, but I'll tell you, those pages look nice. I'm really excited about it.
It's good.
Yeah,
you want to have a happy customer at the end. I was
yep.
Here's the deal. I was talking with one Mr. Von Klaus the other day because I need to do the card design. So I have the artwork, I don't have the back of the card designed. And so I was thinking about, it's like, what if I just put like the logo on the back? And he said, how would you feel as a customer if you got a really cool card and turn it over and it was just a logo on the back and not like a bio? I said, I understand what you're saying. I'm going to put the bio on the back. So it's another thing because it's like there are all these little things that are adding up.
Yeah.
So the announcement that I have is chapter 5 is done. I literally just hit export on the last file within the past 36 seconds. So chapter 5 is done and on to chapters 3 more, and I'll be rocking and rolling.
Wow.
Hopefully, depending on workload.
Nice.
Hopefully before the end of the month.
Yeah.
That's great.
That is really nice.
Yeah, big grind. So I have my little Google Drive calculator that I'm going to look at and see how many pages a day I need to do. Because it was at 7, but I knocked out, 25 instead.
And this is lettering that you're talking about.
Relettering, yeah. And a lot of it's some art changes I'm still doing as I go page by page. So, but I get to go from...
Fatty 057 says, my wallet is grinding. I hear you, man.
Yeah.
There's a lot of campaigns. Rulon says, Clint, have you ever met OSC? Who's OSC?
Office of Strategic Services. Wait, what's the Office Training School's OSC, right? What's that called?
I don't know.
You're talking about the OSS. That was this.
Yeah, he said OSS, but OSC is something, right?
Orson Scott Card. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Orson Scott Card actually spoke at my my college graduation when I got my undergrad degree at the University of Utah. He spoke. He has an honorary doctorate. So actually, I don't know if it's honorary or if it's like legit. It doesn't matter. But he spoke. So I shook his hand.
Well,
Did you
that's
grab
so
it and shake it into
problematic.
the air?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure there's video evidence of it somewhere. So, but yeah, there's actually a lot of really well-known writers out here, authors. James Dashner, he's another one. You guys ever watch Maze Runner?
Yeah,
Or read the books? Yeah,
I know of it.
I never read the books.
yeah, he wrote the books. I met him once too. He's a pretty cool guy. So, yeah, good stuff. Not a lot of comics writers though around here. Comics are different. Mike Murphy, what do you have going on?
Yeah, right now we're in the middle of our campaign for God's Fear Me, so just focusing on that right now, man.
All right, nice. Yep, it is a grind for sure. He's my mom's third cousin, Rulon says. That's cool. I should introduce. I'm actually related to. I'm gonna forget his name. He wrote the Christmas box. That was his big thing. I've never actually met him. Why am I figuring
The
it out?
Christmas box.
Richard Paul Evans.
Oh,
He's my mom's
Okay.
cousin. So yours mom's third cousin is Orson Scott Card. Where's Wanger? I don't know where Wanger is.
I found out that I'm related to John Ritter, the famous actor.
Really?
So maybe
What?
I'm related to Kyle Ritter.
John didn't John Ritter pass away?
Yeah, like
Yeah, a while ago.
2003.
He was in that sitcom when he passed away that I was actually really enjoying. I cannot remember the name of it now, of course.
8 Simple Rules for Dating My Teenage
Simple
Daughter.
Rules. Yeah,
There you go.
that was
I'm not
entertaining.
saying that because I recall all John Ritter facts. I had just popped it up to make sure I got his first name right.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
You know, Eric, you are the king of the, like a topic will pop up, two people are talking about it, and literally you're able to come in within 30 seconds with some prescient fact, and I always wonder if it's just, your Wikipedia foo, or if it's, just you are a trivia master.
Well, thank you very much. Really, I'm just trying to derail conversations. So I must not be doing very well if that's the case. By the way, Sling Blade came out in 1996.
Oh well, that's good to know.
Mashed taters.
So I made a video today, and I posted a video today on Zoe Quinn, and I got some people had to let me know that I didn't know enough of what I was talking about. That always happens
On the internet? No.
Yeah. The thing is, like, I've known who Zoe Quinn was for some number of years, but she just hasn't been important information really. So I was thinking she was a gaming journalist, and that's not true. She just knows gaming journalists. Really well.
She's
She
the
knows
gaming
them in the
journalist,
biblical
right?
sense.
Yes.
Exactly. Yeah. So what do you guys think? I don't know. Is this conspiracy, or why on earth did DC just announce that she's writing a book for them?
Oh, it's
the
poetic
timing-
justice is what it is.
Say that again.
It's just poetic justice.
Poetic justice.
That they would give her a book about, what she just did. I mean, it's,
Yeah.
Maybe they know DC is going to die with
It's a
the
Freudian
agent
slip.
sale.
Right.
And they just announced it just because.
Yeah.
Because she won't actually have anything to write.
I mean, they must have had the deal done way before all this nonsense started, and this is just DC doing their best to like sweep it under the rug. But I don't know, like you could have waited a few more weeks, guys.
That's the thing, is like I know that they have the title. The title was purely a coincidence, I'm sure. The The
Right.
fact that she was hired is purely, like she was already hired. But the announcement, that's the thing. Like Scott, you know this, like from a public relations standpoint, you can wait on these things. You know what I mean?
That's
Like,
right. That's right. It's not a done deal. You don't until you press send. It's not a done deal. And as soon as
Right.
all this stuff came up, they should have been like, "Woo, let's hold off on this."
yeah, it's not like even if they were going to still publish it on the same day and all that. I don't know when the book's coming out, but they could have waited. I don't know, up to a year. Like, I don't know. Again, who knows when this is being published, or it could be 6 months or 3 months. Any time other than essentially immediately after this huge scandal. So I don't know. To me, that sends, again, public relations, like it sends a message, because you'd want to hit that iron when it's hot if you want to, you know what I mean? If you're banking on some kind of a publicity for it. This is not the kind of publicity that I would be seeking if I was DC, but it's what they're getting. Either that or they're oblivious. I don't know.
Well,
I mean,
they're probably
there
oblivious
must
too.
have there must have been a meeting where one person was like, "Yo, what about the backlash?" and the other person was like, "Well, we can just marginalize those people, call them trolls, call them alt-righters, and just write it off as, as that, and just move forward." Like, that had to have happened at some point.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. They obviously, I don't know, they brush it under the rug. I guess it just doesn't matter, or they want it to matter. Somebody did make a good comment in the comment section, and they said it's all about the Twitter followers.
It's all about the Piniums.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't know. Chat, what do you think? Was this an accident? Should they not have done this? I don't know the answer.
I'll be honest. So, you know what? So we're all plugged into this kind of, geek culture war a lot more than most folks. I bet they just have no idea.
That could be.
I honestly probably, and Lord knows Zoe Quinn's not coming to him and say, "Oh, by the way, I kind of Minecrafted a guy the other day, talked him into Minecrafting himself." So, she's not touting that.
When they hired her initially, isn't Goddess Mode her first book? Am I wrong? Wasn't that her?
Don't you have to make it?
What's that?
Was that her Kickstarter, or was that something else?
No, Goddess
that was
Mode.
Vertigo.
Yeah, Vertigo book. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm assuming that she got that job because she had enough of a Twitter following, enough of a presence that she would sell some books, or that was their theory. That's what I'm guessing, because she hasn't written in comics before.
Yeah, she has no background in comic writing.
Yeah,
none whatsoever.
But
She had no background in
fan.
video game development either, but that didn't stop her from making one of the worst games ever.
yeah, but she was able to get like $85,000 or something like that from people, and it seems like that's like, let's be honest, like that's the driving factor, is the dollars. On some of the time, I wish it was all of the time, because then at least you'd know what was motivating big comic companies. But I don't know. That's the only thing I can think of.
I think it's safe to say that a personality like Andy Curry is tapped into this stuff to the point where he knew what he was doing when he brought her on to Vertigo.
Yeah.
And I think you said something earlier, Mike, where you were like, they could just take the bad publicity and call everybody toxic.
Right.
I think that's sort of like, that's the default now when anything gets any sort of negative backlash is, the fans are just wrong and they're bad people.
The other side of that,
what we're doing.
The other side of that too is that these editors and assistant editors, the people who actually make these kind of hires for books, they're apologists for this kind of behavior in the first place. So they're not going to recognize it. B, if they do recognize it, they're going to explain it away. Just like Eric said, that's some toxic asshole. I mean, why would we ever worry about him? And then beyond that, the people who are actually making the calls on communications and things like that, even at DC, probably have no freaking idea. All they do, they get their, okay, here's the description of the book, here's the cover and 5 promo images, and then that's it. And then they just start putting that stuff into the machine. There's no awareness of the creative team and things like that.
Yeah. A man in lunacy says, I think that I would have still given DC money before the Zoe Quinn was announced, or before Zoe Quinn was announced, and that I no longer will. I cut Marvel off years ago. That is not the first time I've heard that. And I'll be honest, I had better feelings toward DC and how they've been managing business as of late, because at least they've been reining things in a little bit. You know, they've been trying to steady the ship, or at least it appears that way. When Marvel hadn't. Now I just, okay, well, I don't know. I've heard that so many times, especially today. Let's see. Albino Thunderbuns says Zoe Quinn raised almost $90K on Kickstarter to make a video game. She took the money and never released the game. How long ago was that? I'm curious.
I want to say it was like 3 or 4 years ago now.
I don't know how long it takes to make a video game, but
I'll be honest with you. I think, I'm not a big fan of legislation, but for people who do Kickstarters or do Indiegogos and then essentially keep the money and never create a product, I think there's got to be some sort of, criminal or civil recourse.
What are the? I don't know. Like it's tough because on one hand, it's like you're not investing. They make that clear on Kickstarter anyway.
Yeah,
you're not investing. You're not even making pre-orders, even though, like in reality, you are making pre-orders. But it's just that you're hoping that they'll get there. I don't know. It's the ultimate loophole that you could screw people. The thing is, she's never going to be able to do a crowdfunder again. At least I would think so. I don't know though. I never thought she'd work at DC either. But James for $5, thank you so much for that super chat, says Zoe Quinn has always been bad news. DC could find it easy. Just one page of Google results will tell you everything. Yeah, I agree. I mean, you'd think that you'd do the just basic research,
They would have had to. You don't just hire somebody without looking at what you're getting into.
Yeah.
Right. They didn't care.
They don't care, exactly.
Yeah.
Or they did it specifically on purpose.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously they did, but you know what I mean? They want to push a certain narrative or agenda or what have you.
Mm-hmm. They've weighed the pros and cons, the rewards, and I can't think what it's called. Risk and reward. That's it. Risk and reward, and they decided that the risk was worth the reward. Even after, like before the suicide went down, before that, it would have still been really tricky, After that, oh my goodness, it's even worse. Let's see. Oh, I'm like, I can see a chat on the other screen. There we go. They don't move at the same pace. Here we go.
Yeah, this is the one I was reading.
GPez says, isn't it fraud for not fulfilling your Kickstarter? I remember a couple who got arrested for doing a GoFundMe for a homeless person. They split the money and it was fraud or something.
That's a GoFundMe. I mean,
GoFundMe is different.
Yeah.
That's charity.
Yeah. So that's like asking. I've heard of people doing this actually locally. They went door to door pretending like they were Boy Scouts collecting money, and they were just collecting money. So yeah, if you are, it is fraud for sure. I wonder if you did a crowdfunding campaign and you said that you were going to do something you had no intention to do, if perhaps that could be fraud. I'm not sure, because you could also say, well, I tried and I failed. And that's why they have all those loopholes. If you're trying something and you just can't do it, then you don't go to prison for it, I guess. Thing is with video games though, I don't know, they're expensive. I don't know. I have no idea what it takes to make a video game. I'm sure it takes a lot of money and know-how.
Yeah, I mean, like the truth is, like, because I play video games and I used to like do reviews and op-ed pieces for a bunch of different sites. Like, to me, like $90K is low for even like a mid-range title. So,
yeah.
Like, I don't know what people thought that they were going to get for $90,000.
Right. That's
text adventure.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
Depression Quest 2.
Depression Quest, right? That was our game.
Depression Quest, right? That's.
Have any of you played? Is it done, or that was what it was for? Did she actually make that?
Oh, that one actually, from what I was playable. Well,
right,
to the extent that call it.
I've played it. It's terrible.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. I wouldn't waste my time on it.
Depression.
It's the type of text adventure where like there should be an option for you to pick something that you would pick as the character, and they just completely don't give you that option because she's trying to funnel you down this narrative.
Wow. See, I've pulled up Depression Quest. I'm assuming this is it. It has all these accolades, and word on the street is we know how those came about. Wow, and the YouTube video is not even available to play.
Right.
So this is it, huh? Oh,
That's
40
it?
keywords of interactive fiction. So this is essentially just a choose your own adventure depression.
Yeah.
That
Choose
sounds
Your Own Depression adventure.
that sounds awful. Oh, here's Steam
Really
ratings. 3-star review. Oh, is this the picture from it? Somebody just laying in bed?
Yep.
Oh my gosh. It's just text. This is it.
Hmm.
That's kind of how text adventures work.
I've never played such a game because it sounds like the
Yeah,
most
yeah,
boring
yeah. I mean,
thing I've ever
it's
heard
a
of.
thing.
Wow. Okay. Does that count as a video game? I feel like that doesn't count.
That's a good question.
I enjoy writing murder mystery party games, actually. I have made several of those, and I would not consider that a video game. That's essentially what you've done, like what she's done here.
Well, but
like-
you could even, if you got creative with it, you could even take a murder mystery type deal, especially if you had some random variables that you could build into it. So
Yeah.
you have different branching architectures, and then that could be fun. This doesn't
yeah.
sound fun.
No, yeah, I think they're fun. They're way fun. I just wouldn't call it. I don't know how you pass it off as a video game.
Well, I mean, they're a product of a bygone era. I mean,
Yeah.
really, there were DOS 1.0 versions of I want to make this epic game, but I don't have an artist, so I can program
Right.
text. And
So did you guys ever play the old school adventure? I mean, text games back in the old days?
I played a handful of Sierra.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I played Zork and the Adventure series on the TI-99 4A, where it's go west. You had all these very simple commands, and you got a
Right.
paragraph of information, and in that paragraph were some clues or
Oregon,
items.
was Oregon Trail? Is that a text adventure?
I think so.
I don't think
Yeah.
it counts.
Doesn't count.
No.
I think you don't have graphics.
It would
Yeah,
just be
Oregon Trail
yeah.
had graphics. That's right. This had
Yeah.
no graphics. It's
And
literally just text instructions pop up on the.
even worse than Oregon Trail.
No, it was wonderful because it's like reading a book. Your
Yeah, it's a
brain
kid party
fills
game.
everything.
Oh wow.
you guys play this? It's fun.
What?
The Oregon Trail, you have it?
The Oregon Trail card game.
Oh, card
Hey.
game.
Yeah, it's a party game. It's really fun. And there's an expansion that's just hunting. The best part of the game was hunting.
Wow.
Check it out at your local Target.
There's a
Holy cow.
That's all I got. Sorry.
there's a fun parody called the Oregon Trail that's like a zombie sim.
I've seen that. Yeah. That's really cool.
Hold the phone, everybody. Danny Agent put in a super chat for 100. I don't know what kind of currency that is, but thanks, Danny Agent. He said Zoe Quinn's Comic Pro White Knight Andy Corey since. Okay, wait. So her White Knight Andy Corey since Gamergate days. He ran Patient Zero of comic book SJW Plague Comics Alliance. He helped her because she was broke.
Yeah. Well, didn't Andy Corey work at DC?
Yeah, he still does.
Yeah.
Like he
was
put together the whole Vertigo
Yeah, the
thing.
Vertigo, and he was the one that gave her Goddess Mode or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So it's his personal charity.
That's right. He still works there, but he's not. Well, obviously, Vertigo's over with. So, yeah, I don't know. All I'm looking at this is I'm not going to pretend to. This is the thing. It's like I feel like I get into certain topics like anime or Gamergate, and I'm not really qualified to speak on those things. But I've got a communications major, and this is all really basic stuff that companies they know this stuff. They know they're making an announcement. They know about the timing. They've done it deliberately. So to me, it's a matter of figuring out why, like what message are they sending? Or yeah, if they just straight up don't care, then that's, I don't know, that's a whole other problem altogether, which, that could be the case.
By
Like,
the way,
you
it's
know, not
rupees.
not to get too geeky on the communications piece of it, but I mean, ultimately, you have to figure out what effect you want to have, and if the effect you want to have is to piss a bunch of people off that may have bought DC Comics, then that effect was met.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and that's the basic problem with almost all communications campaigns is they don't consider the effect. What effect do you want to have?
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, Albino Thunderbun says Oregon Trail was awesome on green phosphorescent screens. Yeah. Floppy. I was talking about floppy drives the other day. I think it was this morning actually with my wife. Yeah.
You know the early computers. Most of them you just plugged them into your TV because people couldn't afford a dedicated monitor.
Yeah.
That's true. Speaking of floppy drives, the Oregon Trail card game comes with floppy drive coasters.
Hey,
Really? Man,
I would grab one, but they're in the other room.
I'm sure it's on Amazon, everybody.
Amazon.com.
Let's see.
How are you involved in this game? I mean, what's your cut? What's your cut of this, Eric?
Well, hopefully something now. I'm sure I've sold at least thousands of dollars worth of product by now.
Yeah, it's like product placement. You gotta prove to those potential advertisers that you can
I should
sell.
just put this in my Streamlabs overlay here.
You need to set up a Amazon store, Eric, and then that way you could drop the Amazon store link, and then people would buy it, and then you get some money.
That's a good idea.
John Penn says, "Have you seen the supposed insider info on her comic?" No, I don't
Yeah,
think.
tell us about it.
Yeah,
do tell.
if you
And anybody who's got anybody's got a Raven Guard icon, it's got to be trustworthy and good people.
Yeah. I'm not sure. Yeah, post. I don't know. I was gonna say post a link. If you're a moderator, post a link. But I don't know. Let us know. Yeah, I'd be interested to know. That's all. That's really all I know about Zoe Quinn. But
I just think that cover was so. I mean, you couldn't if you said, "Hey, Zoe Quinn's gonna make somebody commit suicide," make a cover for her. You couldn't have chosen a better. And the title,
Deathbringer. It could have been like, to me, I'd be like, okay, I don't care what the title is. We are changing this title to like
Right.
literally anything
besides that, right?
Yeah, anything else, anything.
Unicorn Deluxe.
Unicorn Deluxe.
Yeah,
that would work. Well,
pending. Comes with a free copy of Oregon Trail.
Let's look at some campaigns, shall we?
Ooh.
There's a lot of campaigns to look at. This is mine. I'm realizing I don't know how this happened, but well, I do know how it happened, but we're only 3 backers away from 900 backers, and for some reason I just have had 800 in my mind for so long that the 900 is kind of shocking. So that's pretty great. I'm excited about this.
It's a good one. You got those prints in there, didn't you?
Prints, yeah. Here's one.
What's the size of that? Is that standard comic size?
Looks like 5.5 by 8.5.
It is no, it's a 9 by 6. Is that the size? It says it in the campaign. Here, I'll scroll down. I did exactly what it said. 6 by 9. Yep, 6 by 9 size, and it looks
I
really
ever put in
nice.
my campaign what the print size would be. I don't think I did.
Yeah, I wanted to be clear because I love the large prints, like 17.5 by 11, but it's one of those things that you got to ship that then. You know what I mean? That changes everything.
Well,
so
my consideration, I was thinking about folding it so that way, but some people have told me that maybe folding it's not the best.
Yeah, I mean, if you did a poster, I think that's what Zach does. He does the posters.
Yeah,
you could fold those. That would be fine. I don't know. I don't like the idea of it being folded though, even if it's a poster. But
you guys are getting folded prints from Flying Fortress, so deal with it.
Are they?
How big are yours?
11 by 17.
Okay.
I'm the postcards will not be folded. Those will be 5.5 by 8.5. So.
Did you say 11 by what again?
11 by 17. Standard.
17. Okay. Yeah.
The only ones that aren't getting folded are the ones that I have to ship that I already have printed. My classic grab bag special, which is no longer available. Those I have to ship left by 17 because they're on card stock, not poster stock.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So if I folded those, they would.
And Clint, your print's
Terrible.
on pretty heavy stock, isn't it?
Yeah, I got the best quality paper that I could from the printer that I went with. So yeah, they're really you can't really tell. They're thick. So my wife got them, she opened them up and she was like, "Oh, these are beautiful." So she texted me a picture of them, and yeah, I'm pretty happy. It's always kind of nerve-wracking because what if the color's different, when it goes to print, like anything goes to print, it just looks different. But yeah, Chaz did a really good job, and I'm pretty happy with the printer too. So it's quality. It's got like a glossy finish, and yeah, it's
Is that the same printer that did the comic?
Nope, this is just for prints. And then I went with a different printer for the bookmarks, and I've got one here somewhere. Oh my heck, maybe not. My kids do homework up here, and so sometimes things go missing. Well, I've got a bookmark. I've got a whole bunch of them. So yeah, it's like it's coming. It feels good that we're finally getting there, but I'm just realizing the intense work. And then seeing Ethan, he started doing the signing for Cyberfrog.
Oh, that's pretty exciting.
Yeah. But I'm thinking like, oh, I need to get a Sharpie, like a gold or silver colored Sharpie. And just little things like that come up. But
Yeah, if your cover's going to be gloss, get a paint pen, not a Sharpie.
Oh, a paint pen, huh? Okay.
Yeah.
Good to know. Yeah,
I heard those gold and silver Sharpies are actually pretty good.
They're good, but I got the Graveyard Shift, and I did a couple of Friday night auctions where I sold copies where I signed as well, Graveyard Shift Volume 1, so it's signed by John and Mark and me, and I have gold Sharpies, and it never came through as fluidly, as beautiful, as dark as it should. Now I think they were using paint pens. Either that or my Sharpie is in no good shape.
Well, good to know. Yeah, I just want it to be right. So with everything, I just want it to be right so that everyone's happy with the book. So
yeah, you got me thinking though. Like, I could do my prints and my postcards and the trading card and bookmarks. I could get those printed now.
Yeah.
With very few exceptions, everything's ready to go.
Right. Yeah. That's exactly what I'm doing. So I've got almost everything ready as far as I can go. Pre-print stuff, like all the extra pages and things. Eric, you and I have already talked about that, and I thought, we can get started on that and all these little things. So I want to be able to just move and it be smooth, but we'll see. I'm expecting there to be, something's gonna go wrong, I'm sure, but hopefully it won't affect anybody. Albino Thunderbuns says sometimes an 11x17 poster is folded. The ink comes off at the folds. Depends on paper, ink, and saturation for the ink into the paper. Yeah, those are a lot of specifics. I'm sure you could talk to your printer and they would have a good idea of what's what.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Let's see. We're looking at door kickers right now. Scott, you said you have some news.
So I've got a couple different things. So I could share my screen or
do it.
Let's do that. All right. So let me go hit the share screen button. And so, like I said on Twitter, I made a rash decision the other day and decided to add. I love the black and white on the print so much that I decided, maybe I'll make a black and white cover. And so I did, and it's now an add-on to the entire campaign. So pretty much anything you buy, you can add this cover onto it, or if you just like this cover, you can order it as a separate standalone tier.
It's cool.
Yeah. I mean, I had no right to expect for this art to be as good as it is. This guy is awesome. That definitely you're going to see this guy doing some more work with door kickers in the future. And hell, I mean, until I can figure out something he can't draw, I mean, I'll just keep throwing him work. So there's this, and then of course you guys may have seen on Twitter, but I'm going to go ahead and share it with you guys. So Farah got her hands on this, and she, you know, the more excited she gets, the more dynamic her colors are. And so this is what she turned in. So this is my print.
Cool.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
Yeah, I mean, you know, as much as I like the black and white, you know, it looks even better with the, you know, we made some change. Yeah, with the color. Yes, we made some changes yesterday. I gave her some notes. I went ahead and released their initial version, which is always a bad idea, but you know, when you get something this cool, you know, you just want to share it. So just to kind of point things out. So like her hair was almost like a reddish color in the previous version. So we went ahead and went back in and made sure her hair was black. And then we kind of punched up the edges, like on the gun here and the where the flame is, and along the sword, sword disappeared a little bit. So I wanted to make sure that stood out more. And so just some little things, mostly stuff that, you know, other people probably aren't going to notice, but I noticed it. And so, you know, that's kind of the life of working one of these campaigns. Is there's so much stuff that we change. Most people are never going to even notice it if we don't change it, but you know, it's not right until it's right for you. So
I think this may just be the way that I approach things, but I think if you see something on Indiegogo on an Indiegogo page, don't expect that to be the way you're going to get it.
Right. A lot of stuff can change.
And things are always moving, and you're always ready as a promoter, as a showrunner or whatever, to put something out and show people, hey, we got this going, and get people excited. And then when it's time to print, you're like, oh, you know what if we just altered this just a little bit, and it looks better, you know, theoretically. That's your whole thing, is to make it look better. But that's why there's always those disclaimers of art not final or subject to change or whatever.
Right. So like a great example of that with this print is, so see the edge, that little black border. I have no idea if I'm going to keep it the way it is with all the bleed going all the way to the edge, like it is with that kind of framing, or if I'm going to cut it at that black. I love the kind of organic nature of it kind of going off and bleeding into the color, but I still haven't made that call. So that's a great example. I mean, you may get this print and it's just, you know, we just may cut it right at the edge of that black, you know, the black line. You know, the one advantage there is that allows the characters to have a little more room on the page, vice this version, which, you know, automatically crops the characters. Plus, I think the aspect ratio will change a little bit once we cut it down. So we, you know, clearly you're right. There's going to be some room for editing, but still, you know, I just, you know, when something's great, I just want to share it. And, you know, you may even see during the week changes, little subtle changes making to, you know, colors and things like that. That's definitely apparent with, you know, like, I don't know if any of you guys have done this, but posting flats before you have final colors. I think that's fine as long as you're up front with like, hey, these are the flats, you know. Can't believe how great the flats turned out for these pages. Final colors coming later in the week or something along those lines.
Yeah, that's what we have up for the Gods Fear Me. Like we have the 3 pages and it's just flat colors.
Yeah, and I think those look great. And it's cool to get something out there just to kind of get people excited.
Right.
Especially when you're, you know, like, so once going into the last week of the first 30 days, you know, I just got funded at the beginning of the week. And so I went ahead and told Ian to start drawing the rest of the book. And, you know, so I wanted to make sure, you know, as soon as I could, once we extended the campaign, that I had something new to show people. And that's been a constant struggle going on, you know, making sure I've got something new. You know, I had those character sketches that the CG artists did and different things like that. So it really worked out pretty well, but still, you know, you're right. There's always this kind of like, I don't want to be an Indian giver. Like, say you're going to get this, but then give you something else.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
Native American giver, by the way.
Yeah. I think I'm like 164th, so I'm good.
Well,
now.
Indigenous people's giver.
Yeah. This is one of the things I'm doing something. I'm doing it a little differently. I decided not to show more pages of the book, and we'll see how that turns out.
I think it's good.
I don't know. I don't like it to be spoiled. I actually kind of hate seeing more pages from some books because it's like I just want to experience it in my hands. So I am done showing pages, which is hard because there's a lot of good pages. But
yeah, I tease out panels like today.
Yeah,
I did
panels.
like a relettering. I was like, this is kind of a before and after.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Well, no, that's a good way to
don't-
do it. I mean, like I kind of came up in my head. Like I think I really appreciate the way I'm sorry, way Ethan has kind of, his thing is you've already bought the book, so I'm going to show it to you. His thing is
Really?
sorry, I switched over to my iPad and the sound was
Okay.
on.
It's like echo.
No, so I appreciate that ethos, and I want to kind of do that as well. But at the same time, I've got a mental line in the sand where I'm not going to show any pages past this point because that's where you start to spoil the story a little bit. I think pretty much the first half of the story, you got Act 1 and you're kind of into Act 2, but you haven't quite got into the critical Act 3 stuff. I think I'd be okay giving most of that away, especially at the size that I am. I mean, I don't care about piracy. Piracy can only help me at this point. And I'm not going to give away the punchline to the joke. I'm just going to give away, most of the setup, I think. So, that's kind of the way I look at it.
Yeah, and I don't know what the right way is, or if there might not be a right way. I'm just like I just got to do it how I wouldn't want the pages spoiled for me, I guess.
I don't know that there is right or wrong. But what I know personally is, whenever as a backer, like whenever I see, Antonio, here's the first 21 pages of, brand or whatever the campaign is. I tend to not check that stuff out because I just want to wait until I have the book.
Yeah. Especially once I'm sold on a book. Like for instance, when Ethan put out that big, it was like a 20-page preview.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. I looked through it. Most of the pages I'd already seen before, and even though I had the lettering in it, I didn't read it because I knew I'd already bought the book, and I'll just enjoy it that way.
I didn't want to read it, and then Ethan was asking like, "Oh, I'm curious what people think," So I actually read it and gave him some of my thoughts, which goes into this question here: are you going to review more crowdfunding books when they come out? The answer is yes. I think before I was hesitant. I'm going to make a video about this at some point. Maybe I'll post it tomorrow. I was hesitant about doing reviews for other crowdfunded books because I don't know, you feel like you can't say anything negative or constructive or give feedback that's not 100% good to any other books in crowdfunding. Otherwise,
especially people Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know. Like I need content, and I wish that people. I don't know. I want to be the kind of channel that I would like to watch. So I am going to do reviews for all the books that I backed, which is I think a lot of books, but there's still so many books out there that I just can't back them all. So when I do get books, I will review them, and I'm going to try to be timely about it so that they, it's not like Jawbreakers where I reviewed it 6 months after the fact, or more.
Right. I'm looking over at the chat, and I see that Alejandro Mirabal's in the chat. So I think this is a good segue to the next piece of news that I have.
You're not kidding. You got a lot of news.
I know. So you guys may have seen this. I tweeted this out the other day. This is so I approached Alejandro months ago. Hey, I'd love to work with you. How free are you? And he's like, I'm not free at all. Don't, stop bothering me.
Yeah.
And, so it wasn't quite like that, but, so I figured he'd be busy because of the Long Harbor. Because I mean, you guys
Yeah.
have seen that thing; it's beautiful, and
Mhm.
and so I just let him know. I was like, hey, if you ever have any white space in your calendar, I'd love to, work with you. And so we kind of kept up contact on and off, and finally something came up, and he said, I've got a little time, and I said, well, would you be free to do like some character design, because I've got a book called Panzer Demon, and I don't have the design for the Panzer Demon yet. And he's absolutely said yes. And so after talking to him about it on the phone and just showing him some references and talking about the influences and things like that, he gave me three designs, like three kind of initial designs based on our conversation. And two of the designs were not it. One of them immediately spoke to me. But this is a wonderful design here. This kind of like, I don't know, like a eel and a dog or something. It's some kind of really crazy mashup that I love it. But this one just doesn't fit into what I'm doing with the story. It may fit into another story down the road. I think, maybe I'll write something just for this.
So this is the rejected. This is
this
the
is
rejected one.
This is the rejected one, right?
Wow.
And so I went ahead and posted that on Twitter because I figured that was a good way to kind of announce to the world that he's working with me on this, but without giving things away. So
I was gonna say you can't show the monster, then it's not scary, right?
well, maybe.
I don't know. Maybe you can. Am I wrong?
You're wrong. I mean, you're right.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yes.
So this is the second design, and this is not boss monster material, right? But this is like great lower tier monster, right? And so
This is the
it's
lackey of monsters.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
So this is kind of like it's got a I don't know, some sort of ant meets
Cthulhu.
something. I don't know. Yeah, I love it. It's great.
Lots of arms or appendages. I'm not sure if those are arms.
Right. Yeah, it's like it's like an isopod. Have you ever seen those things that live on the bottom of the ocean? With his background, I knew that he was absolutely right for this type of stuff.
There's some creep. I think he's a genius to do horror that's based from the ocean, because it is horrifying. Like you look at just some of those creatures that actually exist, and then mashing them up. Alejandro, I want a copy of your book. Please open your campaign again if you can.
Yeah.
I really want to get
please.
it. I know I've said that before, but
so I have a tendency to disagree with Eric on as much as possible.
Let's do it.
So
you're gonna
I'm
show
going to
the
go to
monster.
the next one.
Oh, here it is. Brace
So
yourself.
this is the basis for the monster. Now this is not the monster. This is the basis for it. It was a close enough basis to where if we go back and look at the print, you can see the tentacles and there's like the arm.
Wow.
So it's in there, and I gave that image, so that's just kind of a hint of what this thing is. And this is not the final monster. But it's going to be
right.
Yeah. It's going to be close to this.
Cool.
So there's still some mystery, and we're I'm going to be on a graded 0.5 tomorrow, and Alejandro I think is going to be on there with me, and who knows, he may be doing some final concept work live on the stream. So we'll see what we end up showing tomorrow.
Cool. That looks nice. Yeah, Alejandro is amazing. We got the anagrams here too. Lots of cool. Have you guys seen? This is slightly changing topics, but I want to make sure I point this out. Draw and Talk. You did that video like last week or something. I think it was last week, where he redid the cover for a book that he felt like could be better.
Mm-hmm.
That was awesome. I loved that video so much. So yeah,
what is this?
Draw and Talk is I think it's the name of the YouTube
I know
channel.
that.
Yeah. Go his YouTube channel. I can't remember the name of the video, but he took a cover from a comic book. Yeah, he said he got a ton of crap for it. He did a cover for a comic book. He said, this is what I like about the cover. This is what I don't like about the cover. And he mainly his gripes or his issues were with the line art, and he loved the colors. And yeah, correct me if I'm wrong. But he did a video on it and did his own. He said it looked like it was done in 45 minutes. So I'm going to give myself 45 minutes to redo this whole cover with what I think is a little bit better line art. And it was like, he did a great job. It was fascinating. Like that is the kind of YouTube content that I like to watch surrounding comics. So I've been thinking about this a lot. Like, what kind of content do I want to be making more of? And that's exactly it, but I can't do it. So yeah, great job on that video. I strongly suggest it. Tell me the name of the video and we can post it for sure. I don't remember what the name was, but
all this in the chat says just enough of slithering Lovecraftian Tyranid blend. He's absolutely right. I used a Tyranid as one of the references for
Warhammer 40K.
Oh yeah, man. There's a lot. When you read Door Kickers, if you're a Warhammer 40K fan, you'll see a lot in there that you'll be like, I know where he's getting this. I feel like I'm picking up what he's putting down here. So
Eric's got to do some chin ups. Yeah,
right?
This is the name of his of Draw and Talk. The book or the video is called Indie Artist Fixes Pro Comic Book Artist Cover 1 Hour Challenge. Highly entertaining. I liked it a lot. And that kind of
take it off. It ruins, and I fall down.
Oh, here you go. Oh, don't get hurt. Yeah. Here's the big one. Can you do that, Eric? You're drowning.
I'm actually straining, and it hurts my neck. I can't do that anymore. See, if I could raise my chair, I can only lower it.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right. Let's see.
Just so the last thing I want to mention about the campaign, though. All right. So so it was really interesting putting the add-on cover in there. I know that I should have some new backers in the last week because, I think Saturday is my last day for the campaign. So I will say, though, that if you're going to do add-on stuff, if you're going to run a campaign, I think an add-on is a very cool option to have. The problem is if you add it midstream, if somebody wants it, they got to go back, cancel their order, refund it, and then essentially order again.
Yep.
You can't add it on to an order that you've already done. So that's the one downside. I know I see some names in this in the chat that probably are backers. So if you're tempted by the black and white print cover, I would say just go in, refund what you got, and if you let's say you order cover A and you like the black and white one better, then go and order the black and white. But if you got the collector's bundle and you want to add that black and white cover to it, if you, I don't even want to say that. I would just say go in, refund it, and then rebuy it all. You'll still be able to get the same. If you came in with the secret tier, same deal. You can refund the secret tier, use the same link to rebuy the secret tier, then add the black and white cover to it. So
there is a small workaround if you do figure out. Oh wait, because add-ons happened mid my campaign, I think. I mean, they were very much like,
new.
These are a thing now.
Mm-hmm.
There is a small workaround that you can do, and that is to make
shipping.
You could make zero shipping secret perks that you put out in updates to your backers or on your mailing list that they can just get, because I have an extra set of postcards that's free shipping that is an add-on, but I also have one that's a secret perk that if I do I send it out in an update email saying, by the way, if you want extras of this, and if you want the T-shirt, these are the links, and there's no extra shipping. Well, the T-shirt is different because that's fulfilled.
Oh, and it just goes out to the backers.
Yeah, you just use your mailing list that Indiegogo provides of all of your backers.
Yeah,
you download that, and then you put that in Mailchimp, and
that makes sense.
And off you go, off to the races.
So I want to get to The Gods Fear Me also and Flying Fortress, but Angram just said, I just tweeted you because I'm close to finishing the Joe piece I've been doing for fun. Hope you are liking the look. This is it, and that looks fantastic.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I love it. Yeah, the colors are really cool. I love, Eric and I have talked about this a bit actually. The kind of muted textury look is awesome on comics.
The oversaturated, really high octane colors are good for sure. They have
Yeah.
their place in comics, and they're very common these days. I feel like you scroll down superhero row at your local comic book shop, and that's what you see are these, Alex Sinclair inspired super saturated stuff, and having something that's a little bit more subdued,
Yeah.
I feel sets the mood a little bit more. So that looks really, really good there, Ingram.
I love the Art Nouveau kind of look to it with
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
the font and the real organic shapes. So it's cool.
Has like the city here at the bottom. Very cool. The clouds. Everybody is
Oh,
laughing.
there's more. The more you look at it, there's more.
Clouds. Yeah, love it.
Cloud.
Yeah, I am super impressed, Angram. This is great.
Does
actually
she break your story by showing you how there's a magic ball of helium and like in the bottom of the city? That's how it all works.
right there. No, that's not how it works. But I do like the symbolism there. That's awesome. But yeah, Angram, if you I don't know if you're interested in getting I'm right now working on all the pre-press kind of stuff and working some of the details out. If you're interested, I'm not going to charge anybody or anything, but if you're interested in getting this into I'm not going to promise where, but somewhere into the campaign where people can get it, I'm kind of working on that stuff right now. I think it looks great. So I'd be happy to do that if you're interested. You could, email the file to me or something. It'd be cool. So yeah, I dig it. Let's look at the Gods Fear Me.
Ooh,
Mike, how's it
really
going?
good.
How is it going?
It is. It's going, man. It's going. We hit a bit of we hit that, but we're climbing over it.
Cool. Yeah, that's always tough. Mid campaign, it's like that's when you're second. For me anyway, it's like second guessing everything. Like I'm terrible. Everyone hates me, and I'm worthless. Like all this stuff all at once.
Those are the true life feelings.
Yeah.
Oh, so
campaign.
That's been the whole last week for me, man. I'm just like, oh my god, why doesn't anybody like any of this stuff?
Yeah, it's tough. But I don't know. It happens though. Technically, you hit 39%. I can't remember what the statistics are. I think if you hit 30% in the first week, that statistically you have really a high likelihood of passing the goal, something like that. So, yeah, looks good though. Give us a quick elevator pitch.
And we got over the next week and a half that I think is really going to help a lot. But it was a tough storm.
Cool. You got an elevator pitch for us?
Of course, man. Of course. Yeah. So the Gods Fear Me is kind of a combination of a bunch of different stuff. It's Lovecraftian horror. It's one part, cyberpunk sci-fi, and it's one part adventure story in the vein of, The Rocketeer. The story itself focuses on Kedzie, who's Oed, and she's on a quest for vengeance against the Puppet King, who alien god that took her arm in combat. It's at this point during her journey that she comes across Brian, a young boy who might just be the key to saving what's left of mankind. It's 32 pages. It's $15, and we got about a little over 11 days left. And we'd love to have everybody listening come check it out.
Nice. Very, very cool. Let's look at Flying Fortress. Eric, I know, has this down, right?
Yes, I do. So is this, hold on, share this screen.
Oh, should I share your screen?
No, I'm just saying
I just ruined it.
Yeah. Anyway, so chapter 5 has been updated. This is a panel from it, a before and after.
There we go.
Lettering. This does not have any updated artwork. It's actually a fairly small panel. So, but I thought it was a good example of what we're doing with this book and why we're calling it a remaster. But for those of you that don't know, Flying Fortress Remastered, it tells the story of Captain Stephen Reynolds and his crew of the B-17 bombing Betty. They are the best in their flight group, and they go on a top secret mission to bomb Hitler. And, things go kind of good for a while because the bombs hit their target and blow that guy to Kingdom Come. Is that a good? That's a good place to go.
Yeah.
But on the return trip, they are shot
Yeah.
down by an experimental enemy fighter and crash land through an interdimensional portal into the Middle Ages. They have to find what's going on. Like, hey, because they crash. They don't know that they've gone through a portal. They get there on the ground and think they're going to be POWs and, things are going to be bad. Even though Hitler may be dead, they still might have some trouble to deal with. But they quickly find this castle and these knights, and things kind of get turned on its ear, and they discover this group known as the Infinite Reich, led by that guy right there on screen. And he is hell-bent on taking over everything. He says Hitler was too small-minded. Taking over the world was not grand enough of an ideal. So,
Awesome.
yeah, over 200 pages. We're updating some art, relettering, and as you can see whenever Clint clicks over to my screen share.
I was on your screen share.
Oh, you were? Okay.
I switched because I thought you wanted me to.
No,
All right.
no, that one right there. Yeah,
There you go.
Yeah. So that's 200 pages, and it we started this in like 2010, got our first volume out in 2012, and we've been drawing it. We drew it for like 7, 6, 5, somewhere in there. I'm gonna say 7's a good. It's years are complicated business. We drew it for a while, so you get to see this progression of art from me and progression of writing. We brought on Joe Fulton, Albino Thunderbuns in the chat, to help edit. He was pointing out, he says, this sucks, redraw this, and this dialogue is terrible, rewrite it. And I'm oversimplifying it, but yeah, he's really helped out, giving characters good, solid voices, and always hire an editor is what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah.
But yeah, we are 4 backers away from 600, and we're moving right along. And if things go the way they're going, I will have those files will be done by the end of the month and ready to go off to the printer. So
Nice.
yeah, Flying Fortress Remastered. And if you're watching this or just listening, just go to flyingfortresscomic.com, click on the link. It'll take you right to the campaign.
Cool. Nice. Yeah, lots of good comics, and I've got these coming too, so I'm gonna roast them. Not roast them. I'm gonna review them my way. I actually don't really like how a lot of the comic reviews are done, so I'm gonna do it my own way. Yeah. So Anagram saying she will email it to me if she's done before we're ready to print. So cool. Yeah. No pressure. It's not a big deal. Just if you want.
Lots of pressure.
Yeah. Pressure all around. Lil Peep, hi. Fredilla Nurmaliza. I'm so sorry I murdered your name, but hello.
Faradila, that's my colorist.
Faradila. That's your colorist.
Yeah, Farah. She did the color for the print. She's got a Twitter now, and she has joined so I tweeted that at her address out yesterday. So if you guys want to follow her, she's I'm going to try to pull her. She is freelance completely now. So I'm sure Comicsgate would be a great place for her to find some work. She is so multi-talented, just because the stuff that you see with Door Kickers is a little more muted. She can do it all. You wouldn't believe, how good she is.
Yeah. Awesome.
Or maybe you would. You've seen her stuff. So
well, yeah. Now the cat's out of the bag. She says thank you. Very cool.
She's very modest. I appreciate that.
So I'm not sure how many campaigns I've backed, but I really want to start getting books. I was thinking about this, and that's why I've been buying some more books at the comic shop, because I spent so much money on comics, and I had no comics to read, so I've been buying some more locally.
Never a good idea.
The struggle is real.
You mean like local books from local creators?
No, just like I've been buying alternate comics.
Oh, well, that's a good idea.
Yeah, from my comic shop. I'm trying to, make the system work here a little bit, but I don't know. I just like to read comics. And we talked about, I loved this because Mike, you were with, I forget who all was on the stream. Mike was on the stream, and we talked about that writing stuff. This was last week, I think.
Yeah.
I talked about Arkham Asylum, and my wife was watching it, and she's like, oh, that sounded really interesting. Not the book I would have thought would have interested her, but she's like halfway finished with reading it.
Wow. Okay.
That's interesting. Yeah.
So talking up good comics, I think, works too. So yeah, that's the
So
plan.
there is some irony in the fact that DC Comics sells a whole lot of the old stuff that they,
Yeah,
when they reprint the what do they call those? The reprint editions with the ads and everything.
yeah,
Right.
like all
That's
Facsimile.
better than the new
facsimile
stuff.
edition. Yeah,
Right. Yeah.
yeah. People like that stuff, and there's so many. There really are a lot of good comics, and that's I get into this thing where you think like everything's terrible, especially on YouTube. This is behind the scenes a little bit. You feel like you're always talking about how negative things are because that's what people are interested in watching videos about. But yeah, the truth is, I don't know. I was thinking like, what gets me to want to read? And if you guys ever watch the YouTube channel Strip Panel Naked,
Oh,
he's not always right.
Sometimes.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
You guys have never seen it. It's
No.
it's I don't know why he calls it Strip Panel Naked, but it's a good YouTube channel, and he talks about comics, and he's really passionate about that, and he highlights just what works in particular comics. And again, I don't always agree with certain books that he highlights, but he's
Yes.
right a lot of the time. He makes some good points on why comics are good. And I've bought a few books just based off of him saying how good they are. So yeah, it worked for me.
well, that's awesome.
Benny J, it got real quiet.
Yeah, it did.
Okay, no, like sure, it can seem doom and gloom, especially like when you hang out on YouTube a lot. But
Yeah.
I mean, like you said, like there's a bunch of alternative stuff that I'm into. Like I just got the trade for Tinseltown, and I'm looking forward to digging into that. And then like even like there's not a lot, but there's a handful of good stuff at DC still coming out. Like I really enjoy Justice League Dark and Odyssey. Basically the not core Justice League book. Anything around that I'm kind of enjoying. And I think Hawkman by Robert Venditti is really good too.
I have not read that one. That's the thing, is like I'm missing the good ones because I don't know. Like there are good books out there, I'm sure. But like
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I've been looking through my books and I'm like, Batman Year One. I want to read this thing. It's hashed. I got this from a library. They were selling their books. that
Oh,
were
interesting.
ruined,
Mhm.
This one, and then Spider-Man, the first volume from J. Michael Krasinski's run, and they're great.
That's the guy from The Office, right?
No,
He married Emily Blunt. No,
he's
right.
the guy that said he would never write in comics again because of what Quesada made him do. Just,
Right.
You just picked up Batman Year One. Have you read that before?
yeah, I've read this like 4 times.
I just got it. Also, probably I got it. There were. You guys have what's it called? There's like a reseller store. They sell like used DVDs and comics. It's not Hastings. It's something like Vintage Stock. Do you guys have Vintage Stock where you're at?
No.
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 Okay. Anyways, we were there, and I just happened to go during Labor Day. I was like, "Oh, it's Labor Day sale," so I got buy one get one comics, and I picked up Batman Year One. I've never read it, so
Oh, it's
on my shelf.
Well, you are in for
I
a
still
great
haven't
ride.
read it because
Yeah, it's really good.
it's so good. This is
I'm
what
not a big Batman fan, but that's one of the ones that I made sure I read a while back.
yeah, everybody's got those like big ones that just sort of slip through the cracks, right?
Yeah.
And that was one of them for me.
classics. Yeah,
Yeah, classics. Yeah.
there's some like The Killing Joke. I've never read The Killing Joke.
Yeah, big ones that slip through the cracks sounded a little problematic.
Not for this stream.
Yeah, that's the kind of stuff that you normally have in war campaign or something, Eric.
Ready for my post up.
Yeah, wrong stream. Yeah, this is a good one. That's another one. Like there could be a whole episode on like classics, and that's why it's so easy not to buy modern comics if you don't want to, because
Mhm.
there's so many classics
Sure.
that you have to read.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can get for cheap.
Cheap.
Yeah, Batman Year One. I'm excited for you to read that. That's like one of the best books. I don't know. It's up there. It's one of my favorites.
It's Curse of the White. It's Curse of the White Knight. The one that what's his name?
Sean Gordon Murphy.
Yeah, like the guy I'd never heard of.
Yeah. Yeah. Sean Gordon Murphy did Curse of White Knight. I haven't read it, so I don't know. His art always looks fantastic.
Oh, Sean's great. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So Eric, the big that when the news came out that he was looking at crowdfunding, his next effort or whatever. I text Clint. I'm like, dude, who is this guy?
Oh, dude. Wow, really? So again, big one slipping through the cracks.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Sean Murphy. I mean, I've been following his career for a while. He sort of came out big on the scene with his Punk Rock Jesus book, and he's been one of these guys that kind of floats between do the indie thing, do the mainstream thing, sort of back and forth, because he did Chrononauts with Mark Miller, but then he did,
Right.
White Knight at bat with DC. And
when did he start getting big? Like after 2003?
Big one. So it probably would have been, when did that come out? 2006.
Okay,
Yeah.
so once the war started, I completely lost all connection with comic books.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, that makes
Punk
sense.
Rock Jesus was 2012 to 2013. Now he'd been doing other stuff, but that was like his big. That was the one that made a splash because of what it was about. But
Didn't he do some miniseries with Grant Morrison,
I think so.
like Tim the Barbarian or something like that?
Oh,
Joe the Barbarian, great.
There you go.
That came out in 2010.
There you go.
So he did American Vampire with Scott Snyder and
Tokyo Ghost.
Tokyo Ghost. Yeah, I still need to pick that one up.
Yeah, he's fantastic. His style is just so unique, and it's
Mhm.
not super realistic. It's actually cartoony. Very
Very
style-
cartoony.
So what should I get then? What's kind of like mandatory reading of his?
I actually haven't read a lot. I just appreciate his art.
Well,
Start with the
reading
first
of
line
his,
on
I mean,
that.
he doesn't write. He does now, but he's not.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
He's
he
an
wrote
artist.
He wrote and drew Punk Rock Jesus. That sort of was his breakout, I would say. But check out The Wake is pretty cool. It's sort of this underwater. Just like grab anything with his name on it and just look through the art. It's almost that.
I really liked White Knight a lot.
White Knight is great. If you haven't read that, yeah, Curse of the White Knight's the sequel. So read the
White Knight.
White
I'm
Knight
taking notes here.
one. Yeah. Speaking of
And
mutant
also,
colors,
go ahead.
no, White Knight
Oh.
has that color scheme.
Right.
Right.
And also with Batman Year One, that was also one of my favorite animated adaptations too.
I think I've seen the animation, but I haven't read the book yet.
Yeah.
So
I liked Cranston as Gordon.
yeah, that's right. Okay, question. This is somewhat related. Have any of you guys seen the new Hush animation, and how does it compare?
Not yet.
I've not seen it.
No.
I have read the book though.
Yeah, Hush was. I really, really enjoyed it. It's one of the few comics I got my wife to read. She's not really a comic reader, but I'm like, if I push it enough, I'm like, you'll like it, you'll like it, you'll like it. And she reads it. She's like, yeah, I liked it. You were right.
What's Hush?
Batman.
Batman.
That was when Jim Lee came back.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
That's when
I'm
he
aware of
came out of
that. But
retirement.
The approach that they took was to treat it like it was a blockbuster film,
Mm-hmm.
and that was something that always stuck out to me because it really does. It gives you that feel. It's so very cinematic.
Yeah.
It's just really well done.
Yep.
Yeah, that book I was like, I don't know how people don't like Jim Lee. People have strong opinions about Jim Lee's art, and yeah, Batman Hush. I'm like, man, I think he's fantastic.
yeah, so I was a big fan back in the '90s. So yeah, that would be a good one to check out.
Yeah, that's one I would say like must read. Long Halloween, that's another must read in my opinion, along with a sequel that goes to it. I can't remember what it's called though.
Short. Not as long, Halloween.
Yeah, Victory. But yeah, so good.
Dark Victory. There you
Dark
go.
Victory. Thank you.
What is that? Tim Sale and
Yeah. Tim Sale, Jeff Loeb.
Right.
Yeah, those are good. What other classics everyone must read? Chat, let us know. What must you read?
Oh man, I mean, going back to Miller though, I mean, on the Daredevil side, he did the same thing with Daredevil. I mean,
I've only read a few issues. I had 3 issues from his run that I've read. I want to read the whole thing. But those 3 issues, like random issues,
Yeah.
so good.
I think I mean the Dark Knight Returns I think is mandatory reading, especially if you like Batman.
Batman, Sword of Azrael, apparently is another one. Yeah, get comfortable.
Yeah, I know, right?
Let's see. Born Again with Nuke and Captain America is a must-read. Daredevil. All right.
Yeah, the Daredevil Man Without Fear one. That one's a good one.
Man Without Fear. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't read very much Daredevil, actually.
I think that's all I've read of Daredevil.
All right. So these are my 3 Batman, the ones that I liked them enough to where I actually went back and bought them. So there was
You just assume his gender.
yeah, that's right. So Batman and Dracula.
Yeah.
Was it Red Rain? You know, it's freaking Kelly Jones.
Yep.
His art is just unbelievable. This one's another great one. So Gotham by Gaslight.
Mm-hmm.
Only the art and P. Craig Russell wrote that, and then Matt Wagner. Man, I've had a fetish for Matt Wagner since the late 80s. Yeah,
Kinky.
yeah. And so Faces. This is just great. It's like his the height of his Grendel style. He was and Mage. If you like Mage and Grendel, it's right up your alley. So those are just 3 that are probably impossible to find anymore because they're out of print trade paperbacks.
80s had great comics.
Mm-hmm.
If you think about all these ones I love, I'm like, oh yeah, that was from the 80s. That was from the 80s, and I didn't read comics in the 80s. I was a toddler in the 80s. Yeah, there's good comics.
That's no excuse.
I'd have to disagree with Aldous in the chat. He said Sandman Mystery Theater is Wagner's best stuff. I think his later Grendel stuff is his best stuff. Yeah, I really like the first Batman versus Grendel, so that's another great Batman story to check out.
Yeah. Here's one too. Ted Lehman says Billy Tucci's run on Sergeant Rock.
The Don himself.
I didn't even know he did a run on Sergeant Rock.
Yeah, I mean, most of his stuff is military themed. A lot of his stuff is.
Knife fight in the parking lot after the show.
Yeah. Some of if you're also looking for good Sergeant Rock stuff, some of Joe Kubert's last work was on Sergeant Rock in the Wednesday Comics. I really like that.
I have some of those.
Cool.
No long box in storage. That was some good stuff. And Joe Kubert did the art for I forget what they're called, but in the Army you would get these little pamphlets.
PS.
Something, yeah.
PS magazine, yeah. It's the monthly PMCS cartoon maintenance magazines.
Yeah, he did all those illustrations.
They still do those, but clearly he's not drawing them anymore. And they're all digital now. They're not. They don't physically print them anymore. It's kind of sad.
Oh.
Real quick. I like talking about comics, actual comics here. Ready to update.
I have this.
Oh, that's cool.
That is cool.
I did their I always wanted to go to the Kubert school, but it never seemed like it was ever going to happen. So they had this correspondence course where you can do it through the mail.
Right.
It's great. It really is. So I did that for their penciling course. And, I feel like I learned a lot from it. But the best part about it is you would mail in your pages and then it would come back with this tracing paper over it with, drawings
with the
how you can fix X, Y, and Z.
Mhm.
Well, Joe Kubert was the one who was doing it. So I have Joe Kubert original sketches in
Wow.
Oh wow!
my really crappy drawings from 10 years ago.
He didn't sign them by chance, did he? Did
Huh?
he sign them?
No, but you can tell just by the stroke, the pen stroke, that it was him.
That's
So him and his sons and a couple other people will do them. I just happen to be one of the ones that got Joe himself.
yeah.
Wow.
It was probably, when did I do it? 2009. So 10 years ago. Did I say 2? Yeah. 10 years ago.
Super. Wow.
It's crazy.
Quick announcement before I forget. I keep forgetting to say this.
Knife fight after the show.
Yeah. Knife fight after the show, everybody. I'm going to be changing my schedule a little bit, and that means that streams are not going to be regular. I know I've been doing Monday nights, and that's not going to happen. Something has to go. So right now streaming is changing a little bit. So I'm still going to stream here and there, but I'm going to take a little bit of a break just so everybody knows.
All right, whatever.
Yeah.
All the opportunities are drying up. Malin's gone. You're supposed to step in and like host more people, not host less people.
Man, behind the scenes, I am getting spammed like nonstop.
I can only imagine, especially after Malin went.
I have had 11 requests today to get on streams.
Today,
11 requests from 11 different people. And so it's like
11 requests from the same person.
well,
Sorry, that was me.
These are separate different people. And so it's like, it just, something has to go. So I'm sorry, but I will be doing streaming. It's not like I'm not streaming anymore, but it's not going to be like Benny J says, let's make it 12. Yeah. I can tell that Malin's been down. I can also tell that I don't know, there just doesn't seem like there's a lot of streams that are going on. And I've already said, like, it's not my favorite format necessarily to be constantly promoting books.
Yeah. And I honestly, I mean, I think the audience can only take so much of it.
Yeah, it becomes to a point where it's not as helpful either. So, but I don't know. I just have a lot going on personally too that I'm trying to get a little worked out. And so forgive me, everybody. But yeah, just letting you know what's going on.
Oh no, it's all good, man.
One question though, because we were talking about comics and this is fun to me. Is Declan, I'm going to say this wrong, Shalvey? Is Declan Shalvey a good artist? I don't know why. What? Go ahead.
No, I was just saying yes.
Yeah. Okay, I missed you. I think he is.
I've never heard of him.
He did.
I'm gonna have to look up his art real quick.
He's been doing a lot of stuff lately. I don't know. I was just trying to think like who are the big names right now that just are popping up a lot, and he's one that just does a lot.
Well, he's good. I don't like it.
Yeah. Why don't you like it?
It's a little bland. And I'm just looking at his Cadence comic art. Reseller.
Okay.
It seems pretty indie.
Yeah.
To be honest, I mean, it kind of reminds me of Downcast.
Yeah. Well, that's.
It kind of does. I mean.
Okay, I could see that actually.
He can't draw the guns very well, so I wouldn't hire him.
No.
Yeah.
This was the guy they got to do the Return of Wolverine.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing. His Moon Knight looks cool though.
Well, the thing is,
I mean, to be fair, all I've read by him is the Moon Knight stuff.
All I've read by him is what I've seen in Google Images so far.
Same here.
Yeah, I'm trying to decide. Like, I can safely say that his storytelling is amazing. I love his storytelling.
Storytelling is more important than most anything else when it comes to comics.
That's why I think he does so well. That would be my guess.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. And I'm sure, I mean, it's got more behind the scenes. He's probably got a lower page rate and he can probably draw up really fast considering the style that he's doing.
I'm guessing he can go fast. So yeah, I look at his stuff and I actually like I said, I've said this before, I'm more open-minded when it comes to art styles. I feel like a lot of people are really rigid out there. That's the way it seems.
Yeah.
Like you have to be totally realistic, and that's not necessarily my thing. I do like more stylized art, but he's one where I'm like, I'm not sure how I feel about it.
I tend to gravitate towards, as an artist, I tend to gravitate towards artists that inspire me to draw.
Yeah.
And there's nothing in here that makes me want to pick up a pencil.
Yeah.
Well, so the interesting thing about it is you guys know that I have a background in art, but I'm not a comic artist at all, right? But that being said, I had the only comic I've followed over the years has been, those annual hardbacks of The Walking Dead. And every time I get one of those, I would crack open my sketchbook and I would start drawing. And one of the things I liked about it was the style was not so stylized that I could ape it. I could sit there and draw it and it looked like a passable facsimile of it. I would probably be able to do the same thing with this. But that being said, that's not necessarily what I look for in art that I like to see. It kind of reminds me of who's the guy from Walking Dead?
Charlie Aldrin.
Charlie Adler.
Yeah,
Adler.
it kind of reminds me of that.
Look at this action page though. At this page right here. Look at the top. His little thing breaks, and then he shoots it out, and it breaks, and it hits this guy right in the face.
Yep.
And he discards it, and then he's like the storytelling ability in this. Like, there's this big famous action sequence that just goes on and on, like with not a lot of speaking. Kicks this guy so hard he vomits. Yeah, like this whole page right here is just, you know, you can feel the motion. I think he's just a really good storyteller.
That doesn't work like that in real life. What happens is you kick them and then they go down, and then once they get down, there's like a compulsion that happens then.
But it looks so cool though.
I'm with you there. Maybe it's his actual viscera coming out and not the.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, but I look at the way that he draws faces, and I'm just like, I don't know that I don't know.
The characters are a little stubby, and there are other similar artists that I think do pull that off better. So
yeah. Yep. Yeah, let's see.
I mean, I respect it. I mean, you know, you're right. I think the thing that's most important for a comics artist is not, you know, really stylized, you know, Jim Lee and Todd McFarlane kind of levels of stuff. I think ultimately, if you're not a storyteller, if you're not a good visual storyteller, then, you know, that's kind of the point.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Well, we solved all the world's problems. That was the grind. Thanks for streaming tonight, everyone. Yeah, I'm gonna make a video, but we've got all these people. I have all the links to all the campaigns in the description below, and I know this is an important week for a lot of people campaign wise. So
Door kickers help me. If we can hit 10,000, you get 10 extra pages of story.
Oh, that get more work. Yeah, let's hit 10,000.
Yeah, we're gonna remaster the 10-page preview story. So
wow, okay.
I'll need new letters on that probably.
Yeah, it's good all the way around. Cool. Yeah, that's it. Check it out. We've done the pitches, and yeah, we'll see you next time. Bye, everyone.
Later.
Bye.
This is the long ending again.